Hello everyone, my name is Tim Roberts and I am one of the co-chairs of the Diversity Project, Disability Workstream, also a co-chair of the Ability Workstream here at HSBC Asset Management. I have a disability of my own in that I was born deaf because my mother had rubella when she was pregnant with me, which is also sometimes known as young needles. So I have an implant on my right ear, and it's very important to tell you all that that doesn't make me hearing. It means that I hear noises around me and I still have to look at where the noise is coming from, and also I have to read, which means video calls are quite challenging and also day-to-day communication. So as part of National Inclusion Week, I've been asked to tell a story where someone demonstrated allyship to me. As I mentioned earlier, one of the hardest things during the pandemic was the switch to video calls. So back in the day, when we first started doing video calls, the bank, in line with many other financial institutions, didn't have captions on their video calls. And so I had to push for them to be activated. I did have a backup support with an external company, which was good, but now we have captions rolled out across the bank, but not everyone has them turned on, or they don't know how to turn them on. So part of my role within the Diversity Project and internally is just to raise awareness of the importance of captions, not just because of deaf people, but people who English isn't their first language. They will benefit from captions. So I am joined today by my lovely colleague, Becky, who has really supported me in particular on one particular call, but when I think about it, she has supported me on many calls. She knows when I'm trying to speak, and I do this sort of what I call a fish out of water. So I'm there, I'm trying to breathe almost, because when I'm on call, I'm almost following the captions and they're a little bit behind the actual speaking. So for me, it's really difficult to know when to talk, and people like Becky see that reaction on my face, if you like, and therefore step in to say, oh, I need to stop the call because she can hear the gaps, if you like, and she's able to stop and say to people, Tim needs to say something, and sometimes the conversation has moved on, she's able to bring it back. So that's really important. So, and there have been calls where we've had to really push back or stop the call because the captions are not there, and it means that the call is very inaccessible to me. So without Becky and other people, so having a colleague, Natalie, who is equally great, I would have been completely lost. So I want to ask Becky today, part of National Inclusion Week. Becky, what does being an ally mean to you, and what made you take actions to building a more inclusive workplace?
Thank you, team. Being ally for me means so many things, but I think actually it's started being curious, actually wanting to understand from other people's perspective and really try to live through that experience and listen to understand and empathize, but actually doing something about it. And I feel since I've got to know you, Tim, you know I've made many mistakes, right? But actually I am willing to go and ask more and more. Every time I'm not sure about something, you be the first point of call. And I said, what would you feel if this was the case? And then trying to turn that into the action, actually say, if Tim is not here, how can I represent him and other people with invisible disability so that I can be that sort of collective voice and do something about it when things are not being accessible, so that it can be inclusive to everybody. And you already mentioned on just now about having captions on. If you design for one, you actually design for all, because I've seen in other circumstances where colleagues who have ear infection, for example, have missed really important call because there was no caption. And if we ensure that every single course, regardless of the audience, the caption are the default, it means that everybody can just turn on to the call without worrying about, oh, do I need to ask someone to turn that on? Or what if I've got this, ear infection? What if I don't understand, etc., etc.
Thank you. It's really for me, it's really touching to have someone who's very passionate about this. And I think it's very important that we all take action now in meetings. You know, basic communication tips for me are to make sure that someone is taking notes in a meeting and make sure that is not a deaf person. Make sure there is a clear agenda, that people get to the agenda. And I mean, this is a very basic thing that should happen, whether it's an online meeting or a face-to-face meeting. Make sure that everybody in the room has a chance to speak. You know, don't talk over each other, that kind of thing. So I just want to say thank you to Becky and thank you to everyone watching this video for listening to us at part of National Inclusion Week. We really encourage you to take action now in making your meeting more inclusive, not just for deaf people, but for everyone involved. Thank you very much.